Well, I got the old Blue Goose's driver's side fender over here on the stand here, and actually the inner brace on this side is actually better than the one that we replaced on the other side, but it's on the rear of it anyways. But on this side here, she's got a pretty good hole in her, and so since we cut them pieces out, we're just going to go ahead and build the second one and replace all of it. But as far as the outer goes, she's definitely pretty foobarred. I tell you what, it's pretty bad shape. She got quite a little bit of ironworm damage there. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and build the inner piece like we did on the other side, and then once we get that done, we'll get her flipped around. And here a couple years ago, I was at a swap meet and I purchased a pair of these reproduction outer skins here. Vendor had them there that was selling new sheet metal, and these ones had some surface rust on it. I guess, nobody wanted to pay full price for them since they was kind of rusty, and I guess you can't blame him, but he had them marked down a little bit, so I went ahead and bought them and was saving them for a rainy day. So I'd say in the case of this old Goose's driver's front fender, it's clouded up pretty quick, so I think we're going to go ahead and utilize the driver's side one today. So we'll get started on it and we'll see what happens. Well, I just got done welding this inner brace together here out of those pieces that we cut out on that earlier video. I didn't film this one along the way of welding this one up since we did it on the other one. I just thought I'd make this video quite a little bit quicker, since the only thing we're really going to be doing different is putting on this aftermarket panel on the outside. So this video, we're not going to be on the big budget like we were on the last one, unfortunately. So I'll go ahead and get some of this stuff put together and we'll go from there. I thought I'd go ahead and take a real quick second here and show everybody kind of why it's important for this lower brace here to have that, that big time dip in here and make that contour, because when you go to bolting them on here, it's literally got to sit down in here, and it kind of goes in here at an angle like that, so it just barely, there's hardly any clearance at all with that firewall up in here. So like I said, of course you'll get a few shims in there to get her shimmed out, but they didn't leave a whole lot of room on them when they designed these. 55 and 6 have a little bit more room, but the 57s are real tight right in there. So, and then while we're here, heck, I thought I'd go ahead and show you this door here. It's pretty rotten on both sides. So if I don't do something about that, that's going to make it pretty easy for that old Mustang to blow these doors clean off of here. But instead of calling her the Blue Goose, we maybe should have called her the Soggy Bottom Doors. It's not very good, but we'll address that in a later date. Well, I went ahead and spot welded that new brace in here at the bottom on the back side. So now we're going to go ahead and cut the bottom of this fender off. And since it's pretty messed up in here and there's some pretty good pittage and it's kind of mangled, I don't know, it looks like it's had kind of a rough life compared to the other side. So since we're using this replacement patch panel here anyways, I went ahead and drew a line quite a ways up. I don't usually like to go the full length of these panels. That way, in case something happens in the future, you have some room there to be able to add another one of these, and you don't have to have like 2 repairs there. So you can just cut it off a little higher again and start over. So we'll go ahead and get this baby cut off of here and start getting it fitted so we can get this new bottom put on here. Alright, we got this piece all kind of cut down here and sized up. We got this piece trimmed up here along the top. Kind of got her ground, get that rust off of there, the inside and the outside. So we're going to go ahead and start clamping her down and seeing if we can get her spot welded into place and get her burned in there. Alright, so we got her welded on here, so I guess it's time to go ahead and grind her down and see how she looks, if we missed anything or not. And if not, we'll get her flipped over and do a little cleaning and do the POR 15 deal. Alright, well, we got this thing all ground down, or kind of smoothed up for right now, so it looks like it came out alright. Like I said, whenever we get to the point where we're going to finish it out, you know, heck, we'll have to grind that all down a little bit more and put a little thin layer of filler on there. But for right now, that's going to be good enough. I'll go ahead and flip it over here to the back side. But like I said, we kind of bumped this off. We got this this new brace that we built put in here. So I think we're ready to go ahead and get back on trying to get this fender put on the car along with the passenger side one, and see if we can get this front end tightened down and lined up and everything. And I had a couple people asking me what size wire and everything that I use and kind of welder. And for me, like I said, I have a bigger welder, but then I also like to, for sheet metal and stuff, I really like to use a smaller welder. And I've got this little 140 Hobart, and I run 023 wire on it, just the thin wire with 75-25 argon mixed gas with it. That seems to work for me quite a little bit better than my bigger welder for some reason. I don't know why. Some people I've talked to said, oh, you should be able to do just as good with that big welder. And other people, you know, I don't know. For me, personally, I don't understand it, but I can dial this thing in, and it seems to just do a heck of a lot better job for me than my big welder. But I'm probably not the best welder in the world, so that might have something to do with it. But like I said, and I wasn't going to do another video on the fender since I did the earlier one, but I thought since this one had this aftermarket panel on here, I'd go ahead and throw that out there in case there's anybody out there that's just wanting to put some of them on there. So we'll get back to trying to get her on there, but so far it's coming along, and we're hoping we don't run into any hurdles once we go to bolting them on. You know, sometimes on these panels you can you know, weld them all in and they look really good off the car, and then you go to trying to put them on there and you run into a snag. Like I said, when I was younger, heck, I did a patch job on one of these and looked really good, and I went to bolting it on, and as I was welding it, I'd used too much heat, and it literally pulled this bottom out. So it had a pretty big, you know, it stuck out even when the rest of the fender lined up decent, you know, most of the way up. It stuck out a little bit too far on the bottom, so my rocker panel molding, since it was a Bel Air on that car, stuck out a ways. So, you know, you always think you've got her done, and then a lot of times you'll run into some hurdles there, but if so, we'll just have to deal with it when we get to that point. So again, thanks to everybody that's been watching and following along on this, and any questions, just give me a shout in the comment section.